guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my Sephora VIB Sale wish list. I'm also going to go through how I decide what I'm going to buy and what I'm not going to buy out of the things that I want. So there's going to be two parts to this video. This first part is going to be makeup, I think all makeup, and then the second part will be like kits and skincare and hair care and other things like that. So I'm going to go through all of the products that I have put on my wish list at Sephora throughout the year. I'm going to go through by category and let you know kind of how I'm deciding which products I'm going to buy. So obviously, like, I put a lot of things on my wish list. It's a very long list of things that I want, and I'm not going to buy all of them. So I kind of want to not only tell you guys the things that I'm wanting, but also how I'm going to decide whether or not I'm going to buy them, and some of them I already know. So I hope that you guys are curious. If you want to know what I want from the Sephora VIB sale, then go ahead and keep on watching. So I've gone through my entire Sephora wish list as of October 15th. I didn't go through it today. I have everything that I want as of right now on Sephora that I can think of. There are some things, like, I tend to go on and look at the Just Arrived page, so sometimes I forget the things that, like, aren't new that I want, but for the most part, everything that I want from Sephora is written down in this book, and I'm going to go through by category and tell you guys all of the products that I want, and then kind of my thought process for how I'm going to determine which ones I actually buy. Because obviously, like, I have 10 foundations on here. I'm not going to buy 10 foundations. So I'm going to kind of let you guys know how I'm going to decide which ones to buy. Anyways, this is already going to be a long video, so I'm going to stop rambling and get into the products. So, like I said, let's start with foundations, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, literally 10. Some of them are older products that are just ones that I either want to repurchase or ones that I've never got that I want to try. The first is the COVEREX Custom Cover Drops. These are $44. I had them before and I really like them, but I don't know if I'll repurchase them because they're not like high on my list. But if I decide not to get a bunch of these other foundations, those I will buy. I do want to repurchase them at some time. I just don't know if right now is the time. The Marc Jacobs Remarkable foundation, it's $55, very expensive. It's the second most expensive foundation on this list. It's very full coverage. I've heard mixed reviews on it, so I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do. This is gonna be one of those things that I go in and get a sample of and kind of see. My only concern is that it's too full coverage for what I'm liking at the moment, and for the price, I don't know if it's worth it. The Sephora Airbrush foundation is $28. I've heard really good things about this. I've never tried an airbrush foundation, and this is very inexpensive. So that is on the list. Again, it's not like the top of the list, but if I do have enough space in my cart or I feel like I didn't actually get a foundation that I want or something like that, if I decide that I have room for it, I'll add it. It's very inexpensive. Estee Lauder Double Wear, $42. I own the Double Wear Water Fresh, the newer version, and I've owned Estee Lauder Double Wear in the past in the wrong shade. So I've really been wanting to try it again. This is one that people with oily skin rave about. I do have oily skin. It's something that I've been wanting for a very long time. This is probably at the top of the older foundations list. Like, this would be, out of all of the not new foundations, this would be the one that I get most likely. And then the last older foundation is the Hourglass Vanish Stick. This is $46. You don't get a lot of product though. And although I've heard that it looks incredible on the skin, I've also heard that it doesn't last very long. And for me, like, I don't wear my makeup to film videos. I wear my makeup to work. I don't go to events. I don't go to things like that. Like, I need my makeup to last. And so I don't think that this is one that is going to make the cut, solely because it's just not worth it's not worth me buying a foundation that's not going to last. Okay, moving on to new foundations. The Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Foundation, $48. I've heard incredible things about this foundation from both dry, combo, oily skin. Everybody has had really good things to say about it, so I'm very interested. Did I say it's $48? It's $48. Kind of more pricey. With foundations, one of the good things is that you can go get samples, so probably sometime coming up I will go get samples of some of these foundations that I'm curious about buying, and kind of try them out, not only to see which, like, you know, whether I like them or not, but also for shades if I am going to buy them. So this one's up there on the list. I've heard good things. This is one of those things, though, that there were a lot of sponsored videos done, so you never really know if people love it or not. The Milk Blur Foundation, $40. Kind of more expensive, but I have heard so many good things about this. It's a very matte foundation, which For me, I'm more for matte than coverage, so I would rather have like a medium coverage foundation that's very, very matte than a full coverage foundation that is very matte. I don't know. It's on the list. It's probably up there on the newer foundations, which I may or may not buy. The YSL All Hours foundation, I want this so badly. I've actually kind of heard mixed reviews, but most of them have been really good. It's just $58, $60 for a foundation. Like, I know it's YSL and it's expensive and it's fancy, but $60 for a foundation, I just don't know if I can justify that, especially since I've heard mixed reviews. Again, I might go get a sample. Two more new foundations, and you can probably guess what they are. The Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation, I am for sure going to buy. I've heard way too many good things about it. I am a huge Too Faced fan. I don't pay attention to the drama. If you're going to talk about drama, this is not the place. I'm going to buy this foundation. I already know what shade I want. I'm going to buy it. And then the last one is the Fenty foundation, which is, the Peach Perfect is $36, which is the least expensive, or the second least expensive one. So for sure buying it. And then the last one, the Fenty one, I'm torn. I've heard some people really love it, but some of the people whose opinions I really, really value haven't loved it. So kind of torn. But so as far as foundations, I'm definitely buying the Too Faced one. And then realistically, 3 foundations is my max. So I may or may not buy one of the other new ones, either like the Milk one or the Laura Mercier one, and then probably Estee Lauder Double Wear or the Sephora Airbrush. So I'm going to determine kind of like based on going and sampling them and like the final total of my cart, which one I'm going to buy and how many I'm going to buy. So a lot of what I do, like once I go through and I make this list, when it gets closer to time, I'll start putting things into my cart and kind of seeing how much it's adding up to, and then based on that I'll determine like the final things that I buy. So that's it for foundations. Let's move on to, I guess, eyeshadow palettes. We can do primer really quickly since we just did foundation. So there's only a few primers, 6 primers on here. The first one is the BECCA Backlight Primer. This is $38. I want this because everybody talks about it, but realistically for oily skin, I'm not sure how good it's going to be. So primers for me, it's very important that they blur my pores and mattify and not so much brighten. So I just don't think it's the primer for me, but I do want it. The Milk Blur Stick is $36. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to buy it, I don't think, because $36 is a lot for a primer. It's one of the higher ones on this list, and I've just heard too many iffy things. The idea of like the stick on my face just kind of is weird. I know you can rub it on your fingers and all, but I don't know. I'm not sure. They have like a small version. I think it's like $13 or $20 or something that I might buy instead. Then there's a few different primers on here. The Estee Lauder Mattifier Primer, $36, has really good reviews, and I think Rach Loves has talked about really loving this, and it's definitely on my list. I want to kind of try to go in-store and feel it, which is kind of hard because I'll probably have to go to Macy's or something. I want to go in-store and feel it and kind of see what it feels like. There's another primer in here, the Peter Thomas Roth Skin to Die For, that's very similar. It's like a mattifying moisturizer primer, and it's $28, and it's mattifying, it has really good reviews, and so most likely that's the one I'll get because it's less expensive, but I am curious about the Estee Lauder one. And then 2 more primers on here, they're both $32. The Too Faced Perfect Peach Perfect Primer, I think I'm going to get that one. I've heard lots of good things about it, that it's cooling and mattifying and makes your skin look and feel really good, and I kind of want to try the foundation with the primer that it's made for, so I think I'm going to get that. The other one on this list is the Fenty Primer, also $32, and I don't know if I've heard that many people talk about it, so I kind of want to do some more research and kind of figure out whether or not I think that it's worth getting and that it'll be different than some of the primers that I already have. So that's it for primers. Skipping hair and skin, let's go to eyeshadow. So I just recently actually picked up the Lorac Mega Pro 4 palette, so I really wasn't in the market for eyeshadows before, just because I do have a lot of eyeshadow palettes. I love eyeshadow, but it's not the thing that I collect. It's not the thing that I go for. So I wasn't in the market for that many eyeshadow palettes to begin with, and then I just recently bought a fairly expensive one. So there's not too many on here, and actually since I bought that, I made this list before I bought that, this list has actually kind of changed. One that I know I'm going to get, if it's available, is the Tartelette Toasted palette. I think this is coming to Sephora late October. I've heard incredible things about the Tartelette palettes. I've never owned one, but I've heard really good things about them, and this palette is so appealing to me for some reason. None of the other ones have really appealed to me, but this Tartelette Toasted one, I think it'll be $46. I'm probably going to buy. I have a couple more expensive eyeshadow palettes on here. The Marc Jacobs Iconic eyeshadow palettes are $49. I honestly don't think I'm going to get these because $49 for 7 eyeshadows just seems like a lot, and no matter how good the quality is, it just seems like a lot of money for 7 eyeshadows. So I don't think I'm going to get them, but if somebody were going to like buy them for me, I definitely wouldn't say no. Also, the other like higher end product on here is the Bobbi Brown Nude Drama palette. This has like not the best reviews on the website. It's $59, so again, really expensive. It took a while for me to hear people talking about it on YouTube. More recently, I've seen people do tutorials with them, but they were sponsored by Sephora, so I don't know. This is definitely on my list, but since having bought that palette, I think I'm probably only going to buy one eyeshadow palette, and it'll most likely be the Tartelette Toasted. 2 more eyeshadow palettes that are on here though. The Too Faced Just Peachy palette is $45, and the Tarte Treasure Box is $59. It comes with like blushes and highlights and other makeup and stuff. Both of those are appealing to me, but realistically for the price, not worth it. I know that if I buy that Tarte one, I just won't use most of it. It'll sit in a drawer somewhere. I'm not going to keep it out on my desk, and it's going to be in a weird place. Like, I don't like makeup that I can't put in the drawer that it belongs in. So like something that has eyeshadows and blushes and all that stuff, like I can only put it in one drawer and then I only use it for that. So probably not going to buy that one. And then a few things that aren't eyeshadow palettes, but I want, the Milk Eye Pigment in Hotel Lobby is like a champagne color. I have one, and something else that's more pink. I like it. I like the formula, but it's not my ideal color. So if I can afford it, I'll probably get the Milk one in Hotel Lobby. It just kind of depends on how much I have in my cart. Also, Stila is releasing some kits of the Magnificent Metal eyeshadows. The one with 3 in it, I don't own any of those shades, and that's really appealing to me. It's only $23, I think, $25 for 3 different colors of those. I love glitter. I love anything that's sparkly, and so for me, that seems like a pretty good deal because I think one is like $40, and so if I can get 3, or even if it's only $23, if I can get 3 for the price of one when I'm going to use the same amount, that's a really good deal for me, and I love that product. And then finally, the Marc Jacobs Highliner. I have to decide if I think it's worth spending money on a high-end a high-end eyeliner. I know it's really good. I've heard really good things about it. If I do buy this, it'll definitely be the black color, because for me, if I'm going to spend that much money on something, I want it to be something that I'm going to use every single day, not something that I'm going to use like every once in a blue moon when I want to pop a color. So if I buy one, it'll be the black one. It just, again, depends on how much else I decide to buy. But so out of the eye products, definitely going to get the Tartelette Toasted, maybe the Bobbi Brown one, definitely the Stila one, and then maybe the Milk Eye Pigment or the Marc Jacobs eyeliner. Okay, moving on. What do we have left? Lips and face. And setting spray, I'm going to put in the other one. So lips and face. I have to go to work later, and I just did this like crazy halo eye. Definitely not work appropriate. Don't know how I'm going to take it off, but it's definitely not work appropriate. Okay, lips. This is a long list. There's like 20 things on here. I don't know if you guys can see. So let's start with liquid lipsticks. There's not a ton on here. The Huda Beauty liquid lipstick in the shade Wifey. These are $20. I've heard really good things about the formula. I personally have tried samples and I really liked them, but they weren't my perfect shade. So I would like to try another one in a shade that's better, but it's not the top of my list as far as like, if I don't get it, I'll be okay. Another liquid lipstick that I want is the NARS Power Matte in Get It On, I think is the shade that I decided I wanted. This is $26, so very expensive for a liquid lipstick, and I don't wear a ton of liquid lipsticks, but I've heard great things about this one, and it's actually a pretty wearable shade. So thinking about that one, might get it. And I think that's it for liquid lipsticks. So if I get one liquid lipstick out of this whole thing, I think it's okay, even if it's only $26, or even if it is $26. So I think I will get the Power Matte one, probably not the Huda Beauty one. As far as lipsticks, the Bite Amuse Bouche lipsticks in Honeycomb and or Meringue. Beautiful, beautiful colors. I've swatched them. I've played with them. I think I have a sample of Honeycomb, and it's an amazing formula. So for me, I wear lipsticks more than other sorts of lip products, so it'd be worth it. But they're $26, and that's a lot of money. and I don't know if it's worth it for a lipstick. There's a Stellar lipstick on here. It's $22. It has pretty good reviews, but it just doesn't stand out to me. So realistically, I'd probably buy something that I've heard more about on YouTube and from people that I like value the opinions of than reviews on Sephora. Other lipsticks. Ooh, the Too Faced Peach Kiss and Sunday Funday. I think I'm definitely going to buy that one. It's $21. I've heard kind of iffy things about those lipsticks and that the formula is different in each color, but Sunday Funday is a color that I've heard really good things about, so I'm probably going to get that one. And then the last lipstick, the Anastasia Beverly Hills matte lipsticks. What was the shade? Peach or something? I figured out the shade that I wanted. When was I in a Sephora? Oh, at Ulta. I was swatching them and I figured out the shade that I wanted. These are $18, so they're the least expensive, which probably makes them the one that I'm most likely to buy, because even though it's on sale and even with all of that stuff, I'm still probably going to buy the one that's least expensive. So between those lipsticks, most likely I'll get the Peach Kiss one and an Anastasia Beverly Hills one. And not the Bite Amuse Bouche, because $26 for a lipstick, come on. Okay, moving on, we have some lip crayons. The Hourglass Stylos, they're $32. I put this on here a while ago. I would love to get another shade, but for $32 for a lip crayon, one is plenty. The NARS Velvet Matte Pencil, $27. Realistically, I'm sure these are great. They have like a gazillion reviews. They're like a top selling product. I've heard tons of things about them, but there's other ones that I prefer over that, unfortunately. The Bite Matte Lip Crown, they're $24. I love this formula. I have one in lychee, I think, and I have another in like a color. I would love to get the one in amaretto, but $24 for a lip crown. It's fairly expensive, and there's one I want more. So another crown color that I want, and this is the one that I'll probably get, is the Milk Lip Color in Cream. These are $22, and Samantha March has hyped this up so much in my mind that I'm gonna buy it, because she has talked so much about how amazing this formula is. So realistically, out of the lip crowns, definitely gonna get the Milk Lip Color, and maybe I'll get the Bite Matte Lip Crown, but probably not. Okay, and then I have some lip glosses and other things. The Sephora Ultra Shine lip glosses, they're $12. They have really good reviews, but I'd rather get the Fenty gloss for $18, which I'm definitely going to get. Honestly, out of the entire Fenty line, that is the thing that I have heard the most positive reviews about, and the thing that I want the most. The other lip gloss on here is the MARC lip gloss set. It's $39, and you get 6 colors, but I'd only really use 2 of them, so I think if I'm going to get a Marc Jacobs gloss, I'll just buy the single in Sugar Sugar for $28 instead of spending $39 to get like one thing that I want, and the shade I want isn't even in that set. I'd rather just spend $28 and get what I want. So lip glosses, definitely getting the Fenty gloss, maybe getting the MARC Sugar Sugar gloss, and probably not getting the Sephora one. And then a few more things on here. The Bite Lip Pencil, I have one. They're $18. I think I want to try to find a shade that fits my, like what I like better, but realistically I have plenty of lip liners that I don't even use that much, so I probably won't get that. And then the Glam Glow Pout Mud is like a lip balm that I haven't heard anybody talk about except Roxette Arisa, and she said it was really, really good, and they have really good reviews on Sephora, so I think I'll just get one. They're like a tinted lip balm, and that's kind of what I'm into for work and stuff, something that I can throw on my lips, and it feels nice and hydrating, but it looks like I have something on my lips. So for $19, I'll probably get that as well. So that's it for lip colors. The last thing that I'm going to go over in this part of the video will be face products, so bronzers and powders and highlights and blushes. And then in the next video, we will talk about hair care, skin care, fragrances, setting sprays, and like other sorts of kits and random little things. So this is a big list. This is almost an entire page of my notebook. Also, this is my favorite notebook of all time. I mean, I guess it's a composition book. Let's start with highlighters, because that's the first thing on the list and the thing that probably most of us are most excited about getting on sale. Okay, so the first thing on this list is the COVEREX Enhancer Drops. So one single of these is $42. I'm not going to buy a highlighter drops for $42, but they have a set of 4 for $42, and that I'm more likely to get because you're getting 4. I could split it up. I could gift it to friends. If there's a shade that I don't like, I can give it as a gift. And then I'm spending more like $10 per drop thing instead of $42. And that just makes me feel better. Like, I'm never going to go through an entire tube, so $42 for like half a tube seems ridiculous, but $42 for a bunch of little individual ones that I might actually use, and you get more variety, that is much more appealing to me. The Hourglass Ambient Metallic, I'm skipping the other ambient ones because those are palettes, but the Ambient Metallic palette, I want this so badly. It's more of like an actual like gleaming highlight than the other like Hourglass palettes and ambient lights and strobe lights. It's much more metallic and I want it so badly, but I'm not going to pay $62 for it. I just don't have that in my budget. Like I cannot spend $62 really on anything. So not going to get it, but I want it. Other highlights, the Makeup Forever Starlight Powders. These are $21. They have amazing reviews. People have talked about these all the time. I don't know if I'm going to get a highlight that's in a powder form. Realistically, I'm probably not going to use it as a highlight on my face. I'm more likely to use it on my lid and on my inner corner. And despite all of the hype, it's just not a product packaging type, I guess, that I use often. I already have an Artist Couture powder highlight, like loose powder highlight, and I love it, but I just don't use it even though I love it. So probably not going to get it, even though it's like the least expensive item on this list. The Too Faced Love Light highlights, they're $30. I wanted to get these. I wanted people to like them. The packaging is beautiful, but people hated them, and I'm not going to waste my money on it. The NARS Board de Plage palette is on here, but $59. I just actually bought a NARS palette, and I love it, so I'm just going to keep this one and not try the other one. Even though it looks really good, I'm sure it's really good. It's just not, it didn't catch my eye enough to beat out the other things. Okay, that's it for highlight. Okay, the Laura Mercier Candle Glow Powder. When I first saw this on the website, it intrigued me a lot. I'm very interested in powders that add a glow because I powder the shit out of my face. I feel like my makeup does not last even like an hour if I don't powder my entire face. But I don't like to look matte and cakey, so the idea of a powder that's more glowy and luminous and candlelight is very appealing to me. And I really want these, but they're $38 and I haven't heard anything about them at all. And that scares me, and when I haven't heard anything about them, it usually means that people don't like them. So I'm not going to get it even though I really want it. But if you've tried it, please, please, please comment down below whether or not you like it, because I want it so badly. I just don't want to buy it blind. Kat Von D Blotting Powder. Kathleen Lights has talked about absolutely loving this product. It has really, really good reviews. It's $29, and I'm looking for a compact powder that I can keep with me and blot throughout the day, so I really might get this. It's high up on my list of powders. I'm only going to get like one powder, maybe like one loose and one pressed, so this is probably the one that I'll buy. Okay, then we have the entire Too Faced Sweet Peach collection. Or Peaches and Cream collection, that's what it's called. The Sweetie Pie bronzer is the one that's kind of like, looks like a pie lattice, and it has like a bronzer and kind of like a golden color and a peach color in it. It sounds a little bit like the Too Faced Pink Leopard bronzer, which I really like. I don't use it as much as I could, but I do really like it. I've heard really good things about it. I've also heard that overspray wears off, and it's actually a really nice bronzer, so probably going to get that. I think it's the only bronzer on this list, and so I need one bronzer from the Sephora VIB sale, and that'll probably be it. The Peach Blur Powder is $30. The bronzer is also $30. I'm torn on this because I've heard both good and bad things. I think realistically I won't get it because I just don't need another step in my makeup routine. There's already tons of steps that I don't do anyways, so I probably won't get it, but it is appealing. And again, if you have used it and you think I need to get it, comment that down below. The Peach Perfect Powder. This is the loose powder that I'm going to buy. I have heard nothing but good things about it, and it was between the Peach Perfect one, which is $32, and the Born This Way powder, which I don't know how expensive it was. I was gonna get the Born This Way one before the Peach Perfect one came out, but the Peach Perfect one just seems like it's a little bit better for my skin type. It's mattifying and just seems like it'll fit me a little bit better, so I'm gonna get the Peach Perfect one, but the Born This Way one is on the back of my radar. I'm not going to get it this time, but Too Faced Melted Powder Blush, it's $30. It's like the cream blush. They also have a bronzer and a highlight, but I haven't heard as many good things about those, so probably won't get those. But the blush, I've heard some good things about it. I want to go in store and swatch it. I do really actually like cream blushes. Cream blushes and highlights, I feel like really improve the longevity of your powder, blush, and highlight, and they can look very natural and nice. So I'll probably get the blush, but not the highlight. The Hourglass Ambient Edit. This is the third one. This is the third year that I've had this on my wish list. And that's probably the third year that I'm not going to get it because $80 is just so much money, and I can go to the drugstore and buy a bajillion highlights and blushes and bronzers for that much money. So as much as I want this, and I really do, I would love for somebody to buy it for me or send it to me so I didn't have to make the decision of whether or not to spend that money. But I just can't spend $80 on a palette. Cody, shut up. Okay, there's just a few more things. The Tarte Blush Bazaar, $44. You get 8 blushes and 2 highlights. They are smaller sized, but this is actually something that I might get because it's a bunch of blush shades that I don't own. My blush collection is very filled with like peachy colors and like a couple mauvey colors, and I want to branch out, and I think that this is a really good way to have a palette. I can keep it sitting out on my desk and pull it out when I want something that's just a little bit different. $44 isn't that expensive. People pay $44 for a single blush all the time. I think if I get this one, I won't get the Too Faced one, but I don't have any other blushes on here either, so might get that one. Then I have the Makeup Forever Face Color Powders, specifically the Jessie James one, which is $44. I really want these. I would love to get the singles, but it's so overwhelming to me, the number of options and colors, and like they're not even all in store, and I just like, my mind is overwhelmed. I also don't think I need another blush. I'm already buying a bronzer and a highlight. I'm not getting a highlight, but I'm getting the drop highlights, and I have a shit ton of highlights, so I'm probably not going to get any of these, even though I would love to have a kit like this that I can travel with and have everything I need all together. I'm so overwhelmed by the options that I just like, I can't do it. I can't make that decision. I'm already bad at making decisions, and now you're like, here's 800 bronzers and 600 blushes and 400 highlights. Pick 3. I can't do it. I literally cannot, my mind cannot wrap around that. I can't do it, but I want to, but I can't. Okay. The Ciate London Glow Blush, $26. Probably what I'll do is I'm definitely going to get the Blush Bazaar, and I'll decide between this and the Too Faced one. These look stunning. They are like a glowy, almost like a highlighty blush, and I've been really wanting to find a way to get that like glow on the front of my cheeks, and highlight just doesn't do it for me. So these blushes look stunning. I've seen people try them on. I've seen people wear them, and they look incredible. So I might get those. I really might. They look so, so pretty. And then the last thing on here is the YSL concealer. I've heard average things about this concealer. I think I need to look up some more reviews on it and kind of see what people are saying. I think if I was getting the foundation, I'd be more likely to get the concealer that goes with it. But realistically, like, I have my Holy Grail concealer and I don't really need to be buying more, so I probably won't buy that. So face products we talked about. I'm going to buy the loose powder from Too Faced, the pressed powder from Kat Von D, the COVEREX Enhancer set, the Sweetie Pie bronzer, the, what did I say? Oh, the Tarte Blush Bazaar, and maybe the Ciate London Glow Blush. I don't think that's bad. It's like one of each. So mainly my goal is to just not buy too many of the same thing. So like 1 or 2 or 3 foundations and 1 pressed powder and 1, like, you know, just don't go in and buy like 500 foundations just because it's on sale. Like, you can't use that many. Buy 1 of each thing or a couple of each thing and be done. So that is it for the makeup products that I want from that is it for the makeup products that I want from the VIB sale. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any opinions on literally any of the products that I talked about in this video, please leave them down below, because as you can tell, I'm struggling. I'm bad at making decisions, and I could use all of the help and the opinions that I could get. So please comment down below whether you love these things, whether you hate them, whether you think I should or shouldn't buy them. Let me know down below. If you would like to see part 2 of this video that's going to talk about hair care, skin care, fragrance, others, setting sprays, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can see when that video gets posted, and give this video a thumbs up so that I know that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.